All right for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. So we only have 2 agenda items tonight. Do we need to approve the minutes from last meeting?
No,
Okay.
no, but you'll do that.
We'll have
I mean, you
proof.
could do it here if you wanted to, but you can do it next time as well.
Okay. So we'll push that off to the next time. I really want to just handle these 2 main agenda items.
This is really a special.
It is special
public
towards this,
meeting.
yes. So, we're looking over the town manager's position tonight, and then, and job description. Before you, you have the current Leo-Cedarville job description, and then you have 5 other local job descriptions from similar areas.
The
And then-
upper right-hand corner of each of those other towns, it says 2022, and
Oh.
that is the year of their last population count.
Oh.
Just so you have an idea of how big those towns are.
So Ossian's
The closest.
What's our population?
Around 34 or 35.
500, yeah.
So Ossian is the closest, and as you can see the order coming down.
So the second thing you have in front of you is the maintenance assistant position, or a part-time maintenance position. And I'll give some history to that here real quick. Basically, in seeing what our 2 maintenance guys are doing currently, they spend a lot of time on a mower, mowing for a park or big open areas. And the concern was quickly realized that we're spending a lot of dollars on them guys to just mow, and we're missing out on some other opportunities that they probably should be involved in. So we currently have Don at the Leo-Cedarville Park that's doing part-time maintenance. He has stepped up and is doing more part-time maintenance. He's working roughly 30 hours a week. But we do see another need to add probably another part-time, at least seasonal help throughout the summer, possibly more, to help offset those mowing hours and the general labor portion of the job, right? So it's stuff that can be easily handled. So I think the plan here should be tackle obviously the biggest one first is the town manager's position, with the goal to get this out as soon as possible. Thought process is to stay budget neutral for the year. The goal would be to probably have this person on staff in here mid-September to the first week of October. That would allow us to stay neutral with where we're at. I think we're all doing fine so far. I don't think there's anything that's dropped through the cracks too far yet. We seem to got a pretty good system going on. So take a second to look over what you have. I know that. Go ahead, Tim.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Angela, so there's 3 different descriptions in this. Does everybody know that?
Yeah, so
Well, I wonder why.
there's 3 different job descriptions in here because that's what is online. I do not know which one was used for the last person that had this.
We don't have that on file?
For us.
We never found that
We
stuff.
can never find it. We cannot find the
Never
records.
found any of that stuff.
And these are all 3 of these are on.
All 3
online?
are saved online. 2 of them I found in the town manager's folders on her stuff, and then 1 of them was on our general folders.
So like the public can access all 3 of these, or you're
They can
saying?
do a records request.
Oh, no, okay, I guess I was wondering, when you said online, I was thinking website.
Oh,
No.
no, I just mean on our internal server.
Okay, all right.
These are what I found on his site.
Okay.
So I mean, obviously one of the first things that I went to was the 40-hour work week. I know that is a typical work week, but our town manager is regularly required to work more than that, and for it to say 40 hours seems deceiving. So I don't know how to word that properly, I guess. But really this job is probably closer to a 50-hour.
Yeah, I
If
think,
not
I think
greater.
that's what we based it on with the salary. over all these years.
I think you just take the hours out of it and leave it a salaried position.
It's a
and,
salary
you know,
exempt position under
Yeah.
FLSA,
Right.
which implies you don't get paid
Yeah.
overtime.
Right.
You're called upon to do
We always,
reasonably what needs to be
Right.
done to get the job
we
done.
always required the town manager to be here during the office hours. And then it was always explained that the town manager had to be here for all the meetings, whenever those are scheduled.
And I don't
It's just
think-
an understanding.
An understanding and in writing, though, is two different things.
It was in writing, that's why I was
Yeah.
wondering where the last one was at, because it was spelled out.
What are,
It became a very contentious point.
I think because it's
With,
our policy.
with who?
In the past,
Okay, really?
Yep.
Okay.
About the hours.
yes.
Okay. Well, I can try to come up with.
so, about right here, I mean, this, so far, I'm just skimmed through the Ossian one, and it's actually
You like the Aussie?
well, so far, I mean, I'm not saying that we need to do anything word for word, but it's very simple, laid out, and that's nice. Ours is not, but I mean, ours is also 3 different ones right now, and we might have a nice simple one in there.
Well,
I think it's a less verbiage on the ASEAN, which is always good. But I can't see even in there like, just, I think the verbiage instead of 40 hours would be a full-time position,
Yeah.
just that period,
yeah, yeah.
nothing more. But I also think, I mean, this ASEAN one is, I like how it's bullet points, just, I mean, it's laid out very nice.
well, when you were saying the hours have been a point of contention in the past, meaning they were working more than 40 and it said 40, or?
Yes, they were offsetting sometimes hours to get closer to that number. So,
Oh, and I'm not,
For example, they would
So in the
stay late for a meeting on
Yeah, that's
Monday,
all
so
right.
that person would
But,
use
well,
those extra hours on a meeting on
Yeah,
Monday to
But
not
I
work
never
on Friday.
was having a monthly meeting.
Gotcha.
Because
which
that
means
person
that
would reach
work
their 40
may
hours.
not be staffed
By
in
week.
here on Friday.
well, so,
Understood.
that's, I mean, that's not good, not to have
Semi-monthly.
like staffed at all.
No.
Twice.
We're having a special meeting.
It's fine to a certain extent, I
welcome.
think.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
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 Oh, sorry, man.
Technically,
So,
I'm
yeah.
uninformed.
What are the actual hours that are not on the window that we are open, that we publicize?
9 to 3
Okay.
on Monday through Thursday, 9 to noon on Fridays. That's the office hours. That's supposed to.
Yeah, okay, that's obviously.
Right.
I was just making sure I wasn't missing something.
But obviously, the position requires a lot more than that. That's just
Oh,
one
yeah.
task, right? And we have other people available to offset those hours if we need to.
Yeah,
But,
that's an old, I think that's old.
I just wanted to make sure,
yeah,
I thought maybe I'm missing something.
9 to 3 and then 9 to noon, right? I do like the ASEANs. I think that bullet point
I,
system,
just looks cleaned up, less wordy, to the point, what we need. Less verbiage, less interpretation by someone is better. Because like people, like attorneys, read into stuff too much. Thanks.
you're welcome.
And then he has his opinion, and then I have mine.
Yeah.
So sweet and simple is sometimes good.
In relation to the 40 hours, I think it goes back to the flag that she put in the policy, the handbook policy. I think that's where that whole 40-hour thing came from, which is another can of worms.
Well, I mean, I think, in my opinion, in any kind of leadership role, it might be 38 one week and 55 the next. That's just the way it balances.
Right.
I've worked in a lot
So-
of management positions, and that's just how it is.
Is one of these a newer?
We don't know that.
Because when I'm reading through it, they read a lot, this, like, the second one that had the 40-hour at the top reads somewhat similar to the town of Ossian currently.
Which one are you looking at?
So it just says, it's this one here, Tim, it says.
Oh, like the one
with the
that's
squares.
standard
Yeah.
form kind, that has the 40 hours.
Yeah. So like, it reads very similar to, I wonder if we didn't update to this first one at some point, and then the other ones were never voided out or
Yeah, I don't
destroyed.
know.
We've updated somewhere, not avoided, so.
Do we use Microsoft here, Angela? Is that our,
Yes.
yeah, there's no fancy government computer system they need to know?
I'm the only one with access to the Keystone software.
Okay.
So they wouldn't do,
So they don't have to know, have knowledge of that.
no.
I mean, do we want to put something in here about grant writing a plus or anything like that? Grant writing experience, not required, but
You know, we've had two different people work here in that position that said they had all these grant writing experiences. Not one of them has written one grant.
okay.
And they not written a grant or not obtained a grant?
Since
They
we
did not
had
write
hired
one for
them,
us.
since we had hired them, neither one of them written one grant on their own.
So that's very time consuming. We have hired people in the past in our last roles.
Outsourced it.
Yeah, well, it becomes you, and today, I probably have taken 12 to 14 calls on the town manager phone. He's had close to 40 emails. What do we want them doing?
Right.
At the end of the day, in my opinion, is handling our town and our affairs.
No, I agree.
And
Yeah.
just outsource some of that.
Yeah.
You know, maybe be part of it and get
That
the
might be
data.
something the assistant manager could do.
There it is. Brian, quit.
Huh?
Get a little smirk. Well, so
Here,
Greg just opened up something, so let's just, might as well get it out there, Greg.
That's in that current job description.
It's
Okay.
gonna make a difference on the,
I didn't make it to. Yeah. All right.
so if you take this one, is very similar from what I've just read through to Ossian, it's just a lot more
Yeah,
words.
that's why I said
There-
this,
there
I
is-
like less words.
They're in sentences as opposed to bullet points?
Yes,
kinda?
yeah.
Which one are you looking at? Do you compare that?
So the very front, the very top one, if you start reading through that and sort of cross back and forth,
It's the same?
it's very similar, just a lot more.
Which one's he talking? I don't know. What time you looking?
Wordings.
Yeah, so so the top, this town manager's
Oh.
in Ossian is very similar as far as the bullet points. We just took the time to wordify it.
Okay.
I just don't think that's always the best.
No, it's not. I think there's a happy medium between the two. I think if there needs to be some explanation, then we need to have some of that, but, yeah. I mean, obviously, I think the biggest thing for us, for me, would be that they definitely would live within a region of the town and be,
Is that,
No, it appears that the last opening up of that didn't prove out to be too well, but I don't know.
Did the Hales live in Leo?
Yes.
They did.
yes, they moved to, Pat did.
Actually,
Pat
they
did.
had a house.
you know,
Oh, they bought Pat's house.
Well,
well, they rented it, yeah, after Pat.
So, I know we've had a couple managers that didn't, and, I think the ones that have had better success were closer to here. I mean, that's just my opinion from what I've seen, so.
Well, I think it is for anywhere, for any kind of government job. If you live by, near, or close to, you have more buy-in, more
Yeah.
care.
Although that's no longer the case with police and fire.
Right.
I have to beg to differ.
They can live anywhere in the country, as long as they can get here on time.
Well, I understand, but I think the buy-in still.
I'm with you on,
Yeah.
I was just sort of being passive aggressive on my criticism of the ways.
Yeah, well, like,
fire is now.
right now on the fire department, you know, the people that have raised out here are really doing extra few steps. And the ones that
For
are
sure.
driving an hour to come in are doing the job.
And did you see anything in that?
Yeah.
Sorry, did you have something, Brian?
I'll agree with Scott.
Okay.
That doesn't happen very often.
No, take note.
So are we gonna make it a requirement or a suggestion?
Like a
I mean, preferred?
Yeah, typically it's worded.
I think a
Yeah.
lot of the
I mean,
stuff,
if you
If
found
you
that
have-
perfect candidate, happen to live right outside of town, you know, I'd rather choose the right person
Oh, yeah.
that
Well-
might consider themselves a
No, I
Leo
agree.
person.
Yeah, I think, and when I
Strongly
say,
encouraged.
Yeah.
I think to live in the vicinity would be one thing. The farther you get away, and the more you're putting your allegiance in other areas, right?
Probably,
Kids aren't ball games, you're.
Yeah,
be more like a, you know, a mile radius of some kind
Yeah.
would be preferred.
yeah.
Like, and I don't know what that
I would
number.
think, so this is my thing, is we ran into this with the Envision plan already, that people consider themselves in Leo and don't live in Leo. So I think if somebody would consider themselves a Leo, Graybill,
Yeah.
I didn't say but Harlan type, then
It's probably within a 5-10 mile
It
radius
is.
outside.
it is within,
They have a buy-in.
yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think our pool's gonna be pretty small if you just
Say-
have Leo's.
No,
These
I
3,500
like a
measurements,
radius or at least,
prefer, see it.
yeah, this chair's fixed, all right, it's gone down and broke.
Ah, then you have that chair.
I thought we got new chairs, but apparently
Clerk treasurer pool is real small.
clerk treasurer got a new chair.
So, that would be one of my, I think one of my sticking points is I definitely want them to be attached to this area.
That's, yeah,
The
I-
goal, right? Obviously, if you have something that, you know, if you can't fill it and we have to expand, then you have to expand.
Yeah, use the preferred or.
Right.
So, how would you like to word that?
I think it's just preferred that they live within a radius of the town or within the vicinity of the town or something like that.
Yeah.
You don't want to limit to like Allen County, because you guys are so
No.
far east.
Well, you got just, you know, we got DeKalb that's so dang close to.
Right. But I think there's people out there that would consider, like, when you talk to people in DeKalb, they come to Leo to do their business, or they come to Leo to frequent their parks. They come to Leo for, like, we've had that conversation with I've had that conversation with several people in DeKalb. They don't consider themselves part of Leo, but this is where they come to do things.
Yeah,
And I think that will, for me, that'll hold more weight, I guess, than somebody who says, I've never been to your town, I saw a posting online.
yeah, I agree 100%.
So obviously preferred locale, utilizing our resources, utilizing our town.
That's not even mentioned, there's nothing about residents.
There was somewhere at one time, and I think we pulled it out did we pull it out, Greg? I'm trying to remember.
What's that?
When we hired our last,
Residency.
the residency was a factor in that at some point, but I don't know where that was hidden at and what document that was hidden.
Well, geez, we haven't done that for like the last 3 town managers.
But I thought Rod and Brenda had to be within your vicinity.
They had to be within 7 miles.
Yeah. But I don't know where that number came from, I guess is my question.
Well, it came from right here.
But it's not, I don't see it.
We came up with it, and that's why I'm saying this is not, this thing that's sitting in front of me that says Leo-Cedarville on it,
Yeah.
we didn't do that. I don't know where that came from. That hasn't been here for quite a while.
This
Come from
one's-
somewhere here. Now,
Yeah,
was it
because-
15 years ago or what?
Whatever, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Or did someone freelance?
I've been here over 10 years and I have not seen it.
So there's another one somewhere is what you're telling me that?
Well, okay, so I remember the one where we said in here and we said 7 years, or 7 miles, no more than that. And then we changed it for Tenna, the last town manager, to no limitations. And so that was the last 2 I remember changing. The other ones all had to be within town limits.
I don't mind the 7.
But we changed it for, come to think about it, we changed it for, the girl that lived in
Carrie.
downtown too, that moved to Huntertown. Yeah, yeah. So that was 8, 9 years.
But then Rod came in. When Rod came in, I think we realized our mistake there.
Right,
And
right.
kind of tried to pull
Right.
it back within
We
the
did.
town.
It was 7.
When did you see online, I guess, when you pulled these, when the save date was on any of these by any chance?
The very top one, the top of Leo-Cedarville,
Yep.
that was saved in 2021. But they all have the same dates, so I don't know if that was a file transfer.
So you were part of that one.
Whatever.
Wouldn't have been in, like,
I
Tana's
felt-
job file.
Well, it doesn't mean,
These
it
all
may
gotta
have
came-
changed
these all
somewhere.
came
I can't
out of
keep track of
her-
everything
her
because-
files,
Yeah.
except for the very bottom one, that one I found on our regular server.
That's right. And that's, what Greg's saying is that these aren't any of the current ones that we've had, right? I remember the one that we looked at, which should be, I would have thought would have been as part of our notes, our
When you were
minutes.
interviewing?
I'm counting.
I would think that it would be part of, should have been part of our hiring, or our minutes when we hired, when we offered, we extended the positions. So that never made it to that.
For
Number 7.
the last town manager?
Just the town controller,
Since I've been on council.
10 years.
I'm just trying to find something that's more current.
How many?
Ashley, Karen, Pat,
No, no.
it's Greg.
Carrie,
Ashley,
Ashley, Pat, Rod,
Ted.
and now this.
So why have we had so many in such a short time?
Different reasons, they're all different.
And unfortunately,
2 of them were the same reason.
I was part of some of those, and I agree, a lot of various reasons in there.
Right.
And it's just wild. That's all I can say. Because, I mean, most of the time, these are not high turnover things.
I mean,
No. Like, they should, I mean,
two of
Once
them,
and done, kind of
two of them are
career
basically about the
position.
same reason. But then you've also had a lot of outside community involvement in our meetings and what's going on in our town, our surrounding surrounding areas. It has turned some of our managers off and made their jobs stressful. And that has been very evident, and that's truthful. Some of it had to do with people sitting on the council. That's true, and that's evident. I mean, exit interviews are all the same, right? And pre-exit interviews are all the same, what points to these things. So I think with the current council setting up here, if we find the right person, I think we're gonna be fine.
Our people in our town are very proud and
very engaged.
very engaged, and they can be very forward, overbearing, and if a town manager doesn't get a full support up here, they feel lost and confused. And to get a full support in the past has been difficult.
And I would say, I don't know if what I said was overlooked, but I was talking about people outside of our town that have been difficult.
I think in and out both.
Yeah.
You know,
Our people in this town do pay attention, you're right.
yeah, someone just
And don't hesitate to call.
mentioned.
great.
Yeah,
And
trust
No.
me, I've been taking a lot of those.
so,
And someone in our audience has dealt with that as well. They're really strong-willed people. Let's put it that way. And they don't like it when they don't get their way and are forward, in and out of our community. And you've got to be able to handle that. And that's not an easy thing.
There's nothing,
that's not good.
just says there was discussion.
Great. Does anybody have anything in particular that they want to add to the job description?
I want to make sure that this job description, the only thing I want to make sure is that it doesn't give an hourly limit to the week, but yet it has the focal point on pertaining on getting the job done and stressing that the salary is there. Right now, compared to Huntertown, we're paying our town manager, we don't know.
Or what's our ordinance?
Is 78 plus
So we
change.
just talked about that, yeah.
So we're probably 20-some thousand over Huntertown right now, and Huntertown's got what, 8,900 people, 9,000 some people over there right now. And so it's like, you know, and they're growing leaps and bounds. I'm sure there's a lot of things that the town manager deals with over there. But I'm just saying, I think it should be stressed. I didn't realize that, well, I did in the background. I knew that there was something going on, but I guess I didn't know to the point what you guys know with the last problem. It needs to be stressed that it's not a 40-hour week job. It's not a 50-hour week job. It's a job that you have to do and you have to love and you have to get the job done. That's all there is to it.
I don't think anybody's gonna disagree, but you brought up something I think that I know you feel strongly about, an assistant.
Yep.
Tell us what you think about that and why.
Well, we've talked about this, and I think almost all of us, but maybe you and I have got together and talked about it, but I see it, the last time we didn't have an assistant here, and then we didn't, through the process of money, we didn't get it done this time either, but I think we should focal point on it. It needs to be done. We need to have somebody else in this office that helps with the day-by-day things when we don't have a town manager. Town manager gets sick, town manager goes on vacation, you have somebody else doing it. She's not doing it, the park board's not doing it, the assistant manager's doing it. And then if something happens, you know, something terrible happens to the town manager and they're not here anymore, or they're not going to be here for an extended period of time, the assistant manager takes over. It shouldn't be the president and the vice president spending their time doing all this stuff. It shouldn't be that way. It's great that it's worked out both times, you know, and we picked our pace up. Some of us that have our own businesses and stuff like that, we picked our pace up. Some of us that don't, it doesn't matter. We're getting the job done because we do things right here. But it should be assistant manager in here. We're growing, we're gonna keep growing. Somebody's gonna keep putting houses in this town. So, I mean, we're gonna keep growing. So I think we should be prepared for the future. This shouldn't be a part of our 10-year plan. This should be a part of our 1.5-2 year plan.
Well, then
Whatever we have to do for the budget for next year, if we can do it, we need to get this done.
let's circle back to, do we know the pay of any of these people? I don't have a clue either.
And
Okay.
do they have assistant managers? Towns of similar
Well,
size
I'm
or larger?
yes,
Okay.
because,
I mean, obviously Huntertown doesn't, right? Is that what
They don't, but they name people different things. I mean, you don't have to name an
Yeah.
assistant manager.
no, no,
Titles, yeah.
Right. But they have people that can pick the pace up.
Right.
so,
Right.
and that's where and I don't know what these others pay, if we are 20,000 higher and we take part of the workload off, that could be some money. If we're not, then we're not, you know. I'm not for it.
I think the hard part is to find a qualified candidate with everything we were asking right now with
I
zoning
don't think
administration. I don't think that's that
No.
far off pace.
No,
But if you had a separate zoning administrator, if you had some of these separate job descriptions, then yes, then it makes sense.
that's part of what you and I talked about before, and I think the three of us maybe off and on, that assistant town manager can take care of those problems. The problem we have with the county not letting us know who's coming out here to drill in our right of ways could be taken away by just having somebody that can do that. You know, obviously they're going to be doing other things. They're going to have to be a multiple type person to get things done. But that could be one of them, and it could alleviate the problem we're having now with construction.
Director of operations or,
Assistant town manager, here's what you take care of. Boom, 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 boom. you know.
And then it's kind of a training ground if something would happen to the town
You
manager.
step into that spot.
They could
Even
step
if they
up,
don't wanna do that and wanna stay in the role, they can at least fill in.
Fill in till,
Right,
yes.
I mean,
but that's my thought. That's
they
the
may be
big-
happy in that other role, but they can still Band-Aid us through. They may wanna go up.
There's one thing that always makes people ambitious, that's money.
But again, we can't offer this current position the way it's written and take cash flow away.
No, I agree. That's why I said, is there any others? What are they getting paid?
Right.
I think there's too much on here.
That's a lot of job.
That's what I mean. It's
I
way
mean-
too much. And I'm not saying we need to hire one or two or three more.
I mean-
But do we need all of this?
Now,
We have county we can
Right.
rely on too.
Well, but the trouble is, that's what's got us in trouble with some of our other issues, with our right-of-way issues and things like that, is the county's handling that stuff and we never see any of that.
No, and that assistant town manager to keep that down into the, maybe the mid-50s somewhere, that could be a 6-7 hour a day job, you know, where just the office is open. And
I was thinking that same thing.
Yeah,
I wondered
and
if it'd be like,
they don't have to
a
make.
32 hour week,
Mhm.
because there's, maybe that could be enticing more to people.
You're looking for a part-time.
Well,
Well,
a semi-part-time, but a
When the
semi-full-time.
office is open, they're here.
Right.
Yeah,
93 and 9 to 12.
they're
That's
not
part-time.
required.
Oh, it's very part-time.
But it's not, because, but yeah, to us that work a lot more hours, it's part-time.
But I don't know how to fit that into the budget.
Well, that's why I asked, do we
Right.
know?
Would that be a full benefits situation?
Not if we kept them part-time. I mean, not if you kept them under 30 hours.
I think it all varies on my opinion of what, do we adjust the manager's pay or not? I mean,
Yeah.
and I don't know these answers without we digging into it, because if we adjust it down 10, 15, then we have a little more, for that person and maybe benefits. Maybe the benefits is what's important, maybe it's not.
Is that what the min is, 30 hours? No,
I thought it was
we don't pay
32.
benefits.
It's 32, but you
32, but-
don't, you don't wanna ride the federal line.
No.
So,
You're getting into what we said, though, almost a year ago. You can't, or not quite a year ago, but you can't keep people if you don't give them benefits. You can't keep people. You can't retain good people,
Less pay and better benefits is important
Right.
to people
you know?
as they get older.
But you had that conversation
Yeah,
a couple meetings ago.
yeah.
Right.
So I guess our first step was to see where we line up to Huntertown and Ossian, because they're the closest ones to us.
Yeah,
Or
as far as
they-
pay and amount of staff.
Yeah. Well, and, do they have an assistant? Do they have other
Right.
titles?
Yeah,
Right
secretary.
now, we
who knows?
have part-time parks, we have, clerk treasurer and manager. So we have very limited people.
Yeah,
How many people work in the town of Huntertown on their town? I don't know.
yeah.
what
they
authority
do-
they have as a
Maybe
town
Ossian
manager
is a
versus
more
the,
fair comparison.
clerk treasurer, or,
Yeah.
I don't know what that looks like.
Although I think we just created a ton more work for ourselves. But
Yeah.
It'd be nice to not even hire someone even later if we need to get it right
Right.
this time. And
But I think our biggest catch is gonna be, even if we take 10,000 or 15,000 off the town manager's position, I think our catch is gonna be, we still gotta come with $30,000 extra.
Or more because of
more.
benefits.
for
That would just cover the benefits somewhat, not the pay.
Right.
You know that.
But question, Greg last year pushed for 2 part-time people, I think at 36,000 each?
Well, actually, I've been doing that for,
Yeah,
For
and I think
several
that
years.
made the budget last year, so
but that was for.
that was for
that's
two
for
maintenance
Two people
part-time.
for maintenance part-time, which would alleviate
But
the
that's not
problem of, we get the 2 people that are mowing more than they should be out
Well-
taking care of the rest of our town.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, I'm saying, but it was for 2, right?
Right, it was for.
So I don't know that she's not.
She's figuring out stuff for us. So he doesn't think it.
I don't think it made the budget. So
Oh,
based on the
okay.
numbers I've seen, I don't know where it made the budget at, I
You
guess.
don't- Well, who would've took it away? Cause I had it.
It's not, from what, and again, she's figuring something out right now, but when she
Right.
gets done, we can cross-reference.
I'm sorry.
The 72,000-ish roughly, 36,000 maintenance positions, that's not a line item in our current budget,
It is
correct?
not.
It is not.
There's
We have one position,
There's one maintenance position in there, there's not two.
one part-time
How
maintenance.
does
Part-time
that,
maintenance.
well, how far do we have to go back to check, or that'd be a pain, wouldn't it?
No, I mean, it would just.
Well,
be
it doesn't
like
matter.
this
What's
back
done is
today.
done.
Okay, so we need, basically, yeah, what's done is done, basically, we just need to get them back on there again. I don't know how to do that, but, I mean.
Well, I don't
let's
know
just
how
say
it works. I don't know.
We
appropriation.
have
We're
to
gonna-
ask, we have to take it to the DLGF and ask for
Right.
Well,
appropriation.
I think.
Well, we can do it in the next budget cycle, can't
Right.
we?
I think
Well,
for
we don't need
the
to do it
maintenance
today.
people, when we get to that, we hire one, I think sooner versus later, add that second if we decide we want it
Right.
for next year's budget.
Well, what I was saying was,
That
you know,
makes
31, 36 for the maintenance mowing and stuff, the other 36 could have gone
Right.
where
Could've
you
started
were, what you
this,
were
yes.
talking
If it would have
about.
made it, and then, yes.
Like I said, we went through the budget line item by line item, and that's where we decided that we could hire an extra maintenance guy, is because we have some extra funds laying out there for a part-time position. We did not have the two.
Yep.
But you're gonna need them both. You're gonna need the two part-time people.
Well, we've already amped up, like I said, Don's numbers. He's already floating over there. I think between the two, that'd be your two part-time, right? So you have one for, essentially you'd have a part-time guy for Leo-Cedarville and a part-time guy for Riverside, and then they can meet in the middle and help where they need to across the line. We already have one part-time maintenance guy that we're utilizing. We're just not, I don't know that we've utilized him to its maximum capabilities yet, outside of seasonal
So-
work.
We got way off track.
Yeah.
Is two part-time maintenance what's important for next year, or a manager and assistant, or two different positions in here?
Quick question, just because I haven't been through it before, I mean, have we ever looked at outsourcing mowing? I mean,
I did when I was on the park board.
maybe they are more efficient and maybe
I'd have to go back and pull the
to see the
numbers.
hours that we put in it and compare it to a
I
quote.
would say our guys are spending 70 to 80% of the time in the parks.
Yeah,
Is that accurate, based on the?
I have no luck, I don't know.
Well, you
I mean,
know,
if you take
I
those
mean,
hours and add them up.
Virtually,
and
I see them in there in the morning, I go home for lunch, and I come back in the afternoon, and I go home, and
They're in there, aren't they?
they're in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I come home from lunch, same thing. That's why I
Yeah.
drive right by, going back and forth.
Yeah.
They're in there.
So
they're in
we're
there,
literally
they're in
talking, let's say we're talking 70 hours, 60 hours a week.
At least.
And are they mowing most of that, or are they,
there. Every morning they go around, pick up trash.
which is gonna happen no matter what?
I agree.
Yeah.
And after a long weekend, it's copious amounts. It's
Sure.
ridiculous.
But have you ever looked, like, compared?
So this is the issue, that is, when I was on park board, we pulled the numbers, compared. It was essentially, at that point, it was a wash. And the town manager at that point said, well, it didn't make sense for the Parks Department to move that over because there were some offsets between the town paying part of the bill and the Parks Department paying part of the bill. And the numbers didn't jive back and forth. It didn't make sense as a Parks Department to move that way. So
Okay.
that's why the park board decided not to, because it was gonna essentially mess up free labor, for lack of a better way of saying it.
Right,
So, but yes, it has been investigated.
okay.
It has not been investigated recently. I did have a conversation with Dirk. Actually, I think when we were doing budgets together a couple weeks ago, or about a month ago now, we talked about possibly looking at getting another quote to see if it's worth these guys, because their budgets are getting hit because we're actually starting to charge them not quite at 100%, but at a closer rate that's accurate.
Right.
So, and they weren't prepared for that. But it's one of the things we've tried to move closer to, is a little closer to accurate information. And, I mean, obviously it's coming out of the same,
No, I
hands,
get
right?
it.
It's just a different pocket,
Yeah.
so. But yes, I don't disagree. It might be worth that we just say, hey, we're gonna send out mowing, fertilizing, and weed spraying. And up until we bought the sprayer, we did all that out. it was all outsourced. And then, I think it was my second year at Parks maybe, that we brought it all in-house. But these guys aren't certified to spray or fertilize yet. So, we have not done anything this year.
Well, he's been in that office for over a year. So,
We've added a lot to it though here as of recent.
Let's get back on the town manager.
okay.
Okay.
Well, everybody wants to work on this, and now we're talking about fertilizer.
No,
I know, it's part of it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
let's get back to the town manager.
Yeah.
Did you come up with any numbers? I seen you,
Okay, so Town of Avila has a full-time office helper, and their town manager was paid $72K with benefits. Town of Ossian did not report to the DLGF for their salary review. And then Town of Huntertown has no assistant and is paid $74K with benefits, but they do have a full-time utility manager who handles the utility side.
And that, she was basically somebody with no experience coming in too, making 74.
And I apologize, that was a Villa that had the
yeah, Bill had the 72.
well, but.
72 in the part-time? No.
Yes.
But in Huntertown, if you have another
Part-time.
full-time employee,
Full-time assistant.
Full-time office
Full-time
Like a clerical type?
Yeah, it just says, all it says on the website is full-time office help. That's all
And
it
that's-
says.
That's not what you're talking about though, right?
could
You're
be.
talking about office.
I mean, if they do
It's the
zoning,
closest
it
thing I
depends
can
on
find.
what's, assigned to them.
ILPs, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that could be.
All right.
They just name it different.
You can name it anything you want to.
Yeah.
And we're at 78, is that correct?
79.
79.
Just-
78 something.
Just shy of 79. But I would argue that zoning and BZA is probably a heavier lifter than our town council meetings. I mean, that's a lot of research, to do it well, it's a lot of time in the background.
Does it say what that full-time assistant made? Did I miss it?
Oh, my God, what it costs.
That's so
I was just curious.
Why not? I think we should meet every Monday till we figure this out.
Is there a Zoom option?
On the boat.
I'm really joking, but we do have to, we really gotta figure it out and dive in.
Well, I think if we can come up with an actual job description that we like, I think we can work around the backside on do we pull that zoning piece off and move it over to somebody else?
So I think that to do,
35,755. And it does say clerical at the end, full-time office help clerical.
35.7, so 36.
if we're gonna advertise for a second position, we're gonna need to have a description.
Right.
And some of that will come out of the manager's role, although the manager will oversee all of it, and I might just read oversee. I think we need to kind of somewhat differentiate between the two,
Yeah.
and doesn't have to be extremely detailed. Because you always add in what, Tyler? Parkview's favorite thing? No, or as council sees fit to assign,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
something like
All
that.
other duties as assigned.
Yeah, other duties assigned by the council. Because they always, the very last thing in all theirs, that's what it reads.
It is.
And because that means if we miss some, we can add it.
So make sure that's safe.
It's in there, Austin's got that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean, all these things,
That's the first one does too. It says performs other duties assigned by the town council, by town council.
Did you guys end up modifying the ordinance regarding car, use of automobiles and that?
No.
that is something we will have to dive into when this is done.
We got a lot of those. We found that probably need to be reviewed and
Okay.
restructured. We have not changed anything that just said that if you're driving your own vehicle within the town limits, at this point, it's.
So,
But yes, it'll be something we want to review.
how do we want to move forward? 2, 1? Thoughts,
I'm okay
ideas?
with 1.5. I like personally, I like keep them under the 32 hours.
Basically, work open hours. Business hours, right?
Yes.
So you're saying no benefits?
I think you could pay them I think you could still pay somebody in that 30K range, at the part-time pay, no bennies, and probably get somebody 35.
What's your thoughts on that?
I think we're gonna need to do benefits.
I'd rather pay less and add benefits. Or maybe an option, because, like,
You could structure it, yeah, hey,
Well,
35, no benefits, 30, what, yeah.
because, someone may not need them, someone may.
Exactly.
Might be one thing important that we don't,
Well, the
Your
problem
husband
is
might
that
have
you have to
pennies
jump
and-
up, so we'll have to be working them at what we would consider a full-time position, so you have to work at least 32 hours at that point.
yeah, but we could have, up to 30 with this package. I think,
And
that's hard to advertise.
If you, let's say you say 30, their salary package would be closer to 40 if you include benefits. Or if you did the 35 without, you know what you get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we don't want a high turnover, and I don't know which way would be better to not have that.
I mean, we can always change the bennies too. It's not like we would be held to that, right? I mean, we would have.
No,
the-
but what, an
Leverage to
advertisement,
have.
what would get the most
Yeah.
people, with or without them?
Yeah.
And that's
that's
why I like having options, but it's hard to,
Advertise.
yep,
You say with benefits, you're getting a very specific, you're getting a group of people, and without benefits, you're getting a different group.
yes, and that's what I don't want, but
They're not, I don't think they're the same.
I understand, that's why I'd like to see both, but I don't know how you do that. Greg, what's your thoughts on this?
I
Can
don't
we
see
make it
how.
work in the budget? I
I
guess
don't
that's
see how we
step
can
one.
get away from, if we want to, even if we take a few duties away and put it onto this new position, if we do it, you're still gonna have to have somebody, and we all say we all agree it's a lot of work, we all know what it is. So it's like, you wanna pay somebody nowadays, what they're worth, and you want to pay what this area. Unfortunately, we are in the highest mean, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know, of Allen County. You want to live up here, you want to buy one of his lots, you want to move into this area, you're going to pay more. So we have to pay people more. That's all there is to it. You want a town manager that lives within 5-7 miles of the town, or right in the town, you're going to pay more for stuff.
I still think that we need to do a range, and also put in there,
You can't do a range
What?
by our ordinance. We can advertise, no, because, I remember John Eustace specifically telling us that we cannot do a range and that it needs to be pinpointed according to some code that he read someplace about work.
yeah, is it true?
Yes, it was, because I think David Bailey was here that night and said he was accurate,
I think that we can do a range
I think.
with,
Now, we can advertise a range,
well, but
we
with.
have to offer the ordinance, the salary ordinance has gotta be a specific number.
Okay, forget that. I'm not gonna argue that.
But our salary ordinance, literally, the one that we just passed is ranges. We changed them to ranges.
I didn't think we were allowed to do the town manager's position.
We changed all of them to ranges except for town council and town council president. Those are the only two that
Ones
were
that
not
we can't?
changed.
Okay.
Right.
So, but
And the clerk
I,
treasurer, sorry.
I have seen jobs
So
where,
employees,
I
yeah,
think
elected
the-
officials can't have a
I think
range.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what
elected
you just
officials
said.
cannot have a range.
I remember there was a very deep discussion on it.
Yeah, and it would have surprised me if you could not have provided a range for employees.
Okay.
But I think the elected official
Yeah, it was the
is
elected
is
officials
what
that
it
can't
is.
have
yeah.
a range.
okay, so we got that.
Good.
So we can offer a position, and I'm just throwing numbers, because I don't know what it would be. 35 to 40 possible benefits. And then if we find the right person, we lay 2 options, let them pick, so they're happy.
Yeah.
Because there are jobs, I know for a fact, if you don't take insurance, you get more money.
Yeah.
But the question goes back to what Tyler said here before all that. Can we afford it?
Well,
I mean,
I agree.
So right now, we're at
Even if it's not right now.
$116,000 between the two office staff. If we add another maintenance person, that's another $30,000 roughly. I don't know that that's accurate. I didn't even do the math.
So that all goes through appropriation, reappropriation, and we're getting ready for budget for this fall. So that all, can we afford it? Yeah, we can, we just have to redo it. We have to redo it. That's all there is to it. It's just paper.
In the second maintenance.
It
doesn't
is,
have to
don't
be till
smile, it
next
is,
year.
right? I'm
And
explaining.
even
I'm with you,
if
I'm with you.
Okay,
assistant, whatever we want to call them, it could even be the start of the year if we wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, or it could be now.
Right.
I mean,
Well, and almost, if they are gonna be an assistant, it'd be nice if the town manager was in place to have a part of that
Filling. of
picking
the-
of the person that they're gonna work with. So you're not shoving two people that might hate each other together, at least they could.
that's-
Yeah.
So, I guess step one, are we good with some conglomerate of,
Yeah.
what does that look like? I guess, because we need to get that over to him, because we need to get it advertised so we can start moving forward with the position.
I'm gonna try to go back and dig through some of my stuff and find, what we had made up for, the last town manager. And, because we can't even find that one?
No.
Okay,
We
so.
can't find anything
so-
for Brent or Ricky either.
So can we,
So I think from this one, and add what we had on the other one that fits our makeup here, I think to splice those two together,
yeah, I agree.
it will probably fit. Now, if, I will go through these two, but right now, the simplistic in the way this is laid out.
You're holding Aussie in there?
Yeah, so can he do that, email it out, can we put suggestions back and handle the next
Well,
few
don't reply
things?
all.
Yeah, well, the next few things then via email.
Yeah, and get
Yeah,
it,
he-
get it done. Get it
Yeah,
out.
well, that way we have a start and.
We can suggest changes, don't reply all.
You guys just can't have like a conversation.
Yeah, no, I mean, but if someone
You
feels
can
strong.
send me, hey, I think this should be this way, and I can
Tweak it
tweak it, and then I think it's gonna have to be an agenda item
at some point.
at
to
some
approve.
point.
But can you make changes if it's a major thing? Let's say Brian feels like some major thing needs to come off that maybe he does and he suggests that to you. Could
Yeah.
you email that out and then reply individually to you?
Yeah,
Then
I
get the
think
consensus?
so. Yeah, I think we can, we
It
can't.
still has,
consensus.
well,
That's
but
a
no,
bad
you,
word, yeah.
you take it.
No.
Or I
and
can
say,
say, these are the 3 suggestions about this concept, and then at some point you are going to have to
yeah, we'll
have
have
a
to
meeting.
decide.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So, yeah, there's been a suggestion that,
Or,
to
Have
adjust
two-
something, and when we bring it to council for the final vote, we'll have the versions laid out.
Yeah.
yes, I was gonna say, maybe have a few copies, or maybe in one section have a few
So,
things. We
what
can
I'm
pick.
hearing is you guys feel like the town of Ossian is the template,
It seems to be pretty,
and I'll.
And I would read through this top one that he got, that Tyler liked as well.
And see what comes
And
from
just-
it, and then you're gonna check out to see if you got notes about.
I know I got that other one.
Then can you send those to me then?
I get 'em.
Okay, all right.
Well, here's another thought too.
Yes,
Do any of you have somebody in mind or have been talking to anybody about it? Find out what they're looking for?
No, I haven't.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
it's an interesting thought.
I guess, what?
Andy just stuck his head around and looked at me like.
So, do we add, so the question's gonna come up, because the zoning administrator, as part of this package that we had given to us tonight from the town of Leo-Cedarville, is not, I don't think it's written anywhere in these
It's not written in those job descriptions.
descriptions.
but
It is a separate, full
Right.
piece at the
But it
end.
does say,
Separate job description at the end, but it was required as part of the town manager.
Right, and it is, and when I look through, I don't see that being part of
Well, and I
Ossian's.
think that's why he needs to look through this top one.
Because it's in
And-
our.
But it's not in this one either.
handbook.
Oh.
That's why the zoning administrator,
Right.
it says under town manager, it's also the zoning
zoning
administrator
administrator
of the town.
in the town handbook.
Are you making note of this?
Yeah, so I'm using, I've seen it as a template, we're gonna make sure it has a reference to the duty of the manager to serve as zoning administrator, probably with a reference to see other
Well, even
job
if not, it would be
Yeah.
either do it or oversee it. It
Which I
doesn't-
think if we can always do that though, you can create a job underneath with the, especially if, like you said, if that position's already filled, that manager position is gonna say, okay, I can offload this, this, and this, and this, and we move that underneath that new header, and then we just change their job description to say overseas versus,
Are you talking about in the event you guys create the position of
yes,
assistant?
assistant,
Yes.
yes.
So,
That's
I
excellent.
don't, I think we need to create the
Yep.
job description for where we're at now,
Yeah.
knowing that an assistant isn't gonna start till
Okay, so
January,
reference-
until after that person helps hire, I
so,
guess.
so we'll serve as the zoning administrator or delegate those
Or
responsibilities.
oversee, just
Or
oversee.
oversee
Yep.
Keep it simple.
if that position
Damn
becomes
attorneys
separate.
in these words.
Yeah,
Figure it out.
Do you want me to read what this says?
yeah.
So, town manager established by town ordinance, the town manager position is a full-time exempt position. Town manager generally serves as the administrative head of the town, has the direct day-to-day supervisory authority over all other town employees except employees hired by the clerk treasurer. The town manager shall also serve as secretary to the planning commission and zoning administrator at the discretion of the planning commission and as secretary to the board of zoning
they don't
appeals
do
at the
that shit.
discretion of the BZA. The positions of the town manager shall be staffed at the sole discretion of town council.
What are you reading from, Angela?
That's the
The
handbook,
handbook,
Oh,
That's
our
the-
handbook.
yeah.
Yeah.
which has its own
They
faults.
shouldn't be secretaries of other boards.
Something else we
Yeah.
got fixed.
So that they have to, that's why I said the BZA and zoning boards are almost more cumbersome than this. And we deal with some pretty interesting stuff, and those boards are equally.
I don't know that our town's big enough, but I do know that there are several towns throughout the state that have just a zoning administrator slash code enforcement officer.
That's something we might want to look at even as well. I mean,
Who said that?
That's what I'm saying, like, I don't think you guys well, you said on zoning, you said, like, the complexity of sometimes of the issues, well, are signed down here, and going back through and making sure our notes are correct is very key to going back later and saying, we did this right, or they did this right, or they did it wrong. So, like, I mean, we're online here, they're online, we can always utilize that later, but that's very, I mean, to get the right footprint of the building and the right setbacks and the right
Oh,
this
yeah.
and the right that can be very,
that's probably, I would say,
very cumbersome. And
20% of the calls coming in right now. I'm pulling up the website and digging through that zoning
Right.
like there's no tomorrow.
So when we set out day one years ago to redo that whole big zoning book, the lady from county come out here and sat through 7 different meetings with us. And this went on for like 5-6 months. And finally, it got to the point where, she made a good point. She said, if you just stay with us and decide not to redo all your zoning and take it over on your own, she said, we have people down at the State House that are constantly telling us about changes. You'll have to have somebody down there or you won't know about these changes because they don't necessarily tell you about all these changes as they happen. So unless we have somebody that we can do that, or someone in the firm that do it for us, it's quite cumbersome. That's why we never followed through with redoing the whole book and taking it over ourselves.
right, I understand, but we're still,
Issuing improvements.
I know.
we're doing ILPs, we're
Yeah.
still dealing
Yeah.
with zoning, we're still dealing with these
Right.
one-offs.
We're not saying take it over.
We're not saying take it over, what I'm saying is this position, that's a big factor in this position, and even if you offset that to a part-time staff, I think there's weeks that's all they would do. Or take complaints, or, there's times when it's not, but there's gonna be weeks where they're gonna be fully in that for a week or two.
I'm not gonna disagree, no.
I don't, like, I've learned a lot in the last month.
I bet.
So,
It's mind blowing.
it is.
So let's start,
So, like, that's the thing, is we need to create this position, zoning needs to be in it, but the trouble is if we leave zoning in it, then the pay scale's gotta go up.
I say,
It's,
yeah.
we can't lower the pay scale and still keep the same workload, I guess that's my point. And to do,
And you can't lower the pay scale anyway, once the ordinance is set, you can't go back, right?
I mean, it depends on
we
what the
did
range
once.
is.
Yeah,
You can rewrite an ordinance.
Yeah, you
We-
can amend the, you can amend the
You can
ordinance.
amend it.
Because,
You're talking about the
correct me if I'm
manager.
not, but
Yeah.
Rod, our previous town manager was making, the ordinance was set at something and then we had to change it when tenant came in.
Well, yeah, but we were getting an attorney and we were getting a town manager. That's why
That's why
we
you
made it
went
so
up so
high.
high.
well, he's saying Rod, and the job position was offered to tenant at the wrong ordinance pay,
Right.
so
And
we
we had to change
corrected
that.
it.
That was a faux pas.
That was, yeah, that's exactly what.
That was a faux pas. That's all that was.
But we can change is what he's saying,
Right.
so.
But we
yes.
probably need to do it before we extend the position.
Well, so as far as I'm concerned, we're down to taking one of these and trying to combine, or taking two of these and trying to combine them into
Yes.
one. And I'll see if I can dig that information
Yeah.
up, see if I can find it, get with him, and then he'll send it out to the rest of
And
us.
then the rest of us think about that pay, because we are gonna circle back to it.
Yeah, all that's coming back.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
So the second half of this was
Let's go from
the maintenance position.
This is the one they brought today. I don't know where it came from.
And in my opinion, we need to hire just summer help, like literally mowing, pulling weeds, cleaning up parks, cleaning up trash along the roads. We don't need,
I hate to say it, but downtown bricks, I've sprayed them twice. And,
I-
I'm gonna tell you something, those weeds get in those bricks because that's sand. And they get in there and they flourish.
and
And it's cute because I watch the older people, it's never the younger people, nothing against, but it's always the older people on Thursday night at farmer's market. I'll watch them, they'll be walking around, then they'll bend down and they'll pull one out and they'll throw it in my grass, or I'll watch them throw it into other people's grass, but they'll pull weeds out of those bricks.
So-
They're getting bad. And then Derek told us many times, we shouldn't be going around and spraying all the curbing in this town
But-
on the edges of it, because that is detrimental.
you don't have anybody to do it.
Well, I get it, but I'm just giving you an example of other things that
Right.
I've noticed that haven't been done.
But that's the thing is like I said,
The weeds along the,
Yes.
I sent Brent a text the other day and said, hey, just put this on your heads up, that, the weeds are getting over the guardrail now, again,
Oh, on the far side.
on both sides of the bridge.
so in my opinion,
I do.
well, wait till the bridge is gonna get done, then we wanna make it look nice.
in my opinion, this position needs to be basically mowing,
Where do you want to go?
mulching,
Yeah.
park maintenance,
Right.
essentially.
I
Summertime, general, flowers, that kind of stuff.
Would that
I think
come
this
out?
needs dumbed down here, don't you?
That's what I'm saying, like, this needs to go away, and we basically need to take it back to mowing, trimming, watering, bed maintenance, that kind of stuff.
And the price, I mean, the range.
Well, yeah, so the price would need to drop
Yeah,
some.
yeah.
We're talking summer help, college kid is our goal, right? Somebody can go out there and
Or a
15,
part-time
16
job
bucks an
for someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so the question it says required qualifications 18 years or older. Is that because of our insurance here?
That'd be my guess.
I would,
Assume,
I
right?
assume so,
Okay.
yeah, because they have to be able to drive our vehicles too, and you have to be 18 to be able to drive them. so-
I didn't know if that included the UTVs,
You know,
probably
It is with
16-year-old.
everything.
We had an intern 2 or 3 years ago, and he could only do certain things.
Yeah.
so,
I mean, I'm fine with, like I said, I would think we're really looking for that high school senior.
well, this is a full-time job.
Right. Which obviously, holidays will be gone, then we're talking literally part-time help. Possibly in the winter, if we get somebody who's a local here and we need help plowing, we call them in, we pay them by the hour, right? You know, like, I would think a fair would be like 16 to 19 probably for a
I
part-time.
was thinking 15 to 20, so I mean, that's within. I mean, you remember when we had Tiffany, she would clean the restrooms, clean the park, she would get down in that track in, I mean, knee deep and stuff, clean it all out. She did all that for like $13 an hour.
Yeah.
But she took a lot of pride in that, but it was very simple. She didn't do the mowing, but we need to find someone that can do that and mow and garden, basic.
So I would.
Clean the pavilions.
Yes.
There's a ton of stuff that Brent and
Go
Chris will be
around
doing
and
that
clean up in the
we're-
morning.
We're
Yes.
paying them a ton of money to be doing a lot of things that they
And
could be doing elsewhere.
for one of those examples is there's some stormwater situations going on that
Yeah.
really these guys should be the front runners and spearheading. So, and they don't have time. They just don't have time to deal with it. So I would say, we change to 16 to 19 or 15 to 19.
It don't matter.
You're looking at maintenance assistant
Yeah.
job description.
Yeah, so this is a full-time position. We're making a
We want to make a
part-time.
part-time position.
Part-time, part-time, how do you word that?
Park maintenance.
Yeah, essentially it'd be park maintenance or part-time general maintenance,
General maintenance.
something like that.
General maintenance is probably better, it catches
Yeah.
it all.
So if we have to have mop floors, they mop floors, right? And then basically all this stuff goes away for the most part, and literally I had to put something in there, so mowing, trimming, mulching, playground equipment maintenance, and then other jobs as assigned by the maintenance manager, or like I think it needs to be pretty, you can do some pressure washing, like you can do some of that stuff, but like this whole thing is way too much for what we're looking for. So. Actually, if you go to the back, the street laborer, I think we can,
Send it better.
that actually probably, there's like operates trucks, the backhoe we don't have, but like it says mows grass, removes weeds, helps pick up trash debris, trims, like paints lines, paints curbs. Like that's what we need this guy to do.
That's, so really, so, just to be clear, are you just still gonna have a full-time maintenance assistant?
Yes, so Chris would be considered the full-time maintenance.
So this doesn't change?
Change, no, we have to create a new document for a part-time,
This street laborer
right,
is gonna be
I think the things I
the
got
part-time
circled.
maintenance
Want you to
assistant.
circle what you think and give the Tim.
yeah.
So quickly running down the list, Tyler will circle what we all think. I think our first one's mowing, fertilizer.
Are you looking at,
And I would say not fertilizers, that requires a special license.
Okay, mowing. So mark yours, take out, there you go, just like that. Planting, fertilizing, take out the fertilizing. The very next one, watering, that should be.
Yeah,
Special events, set up, cleanup,
yep,
drive town truck, maintain supplies of property, town property, I
Yeah.
think. And perform other maintenance duties as assigned. On the next one,
So that's basically 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is what I got.
and on the next one,
mowing and applying, fertilizer, planting?
he's gonna give you his, Tim.
I'm Xing mine out.
And the next one, I think we go down to ability, we're going down to lift, they should be able to lift
Yes,
something.
you have to
Which
have-
one you like?
You have to have a walk and stand,
Yep.
you have to have the ability to lift,
And then the ability to stop, crawl, bend, climb would be the
Yes.
next one. Working outside weather and be able to communicate and follow rules.
and
Valid driver's license.
they don't need a commercial driver's license for the pickups, they only need that for the back truck, correct?
So then just valid, yeah, you have to have a valid driver's license.
Well, it says commercial driver's license.
Oh, I'd take out the commercial.
Yeah,
I think that's your job.
I think that's it.
That's gonna be 30 hours a week.
Yes.
Up to,
Up to.
Up to.
because
So-
some weeks may not need them as much.
If it pours down rain and we don't need them, we down staff them, right? If we,
So, You have to change a lot of the rest of the stuff too.
Yeah, here you go, Tim. We good with all that?
I am.
I'm gonna go for audience comments, since you listened so nicely, and
You guys ready?
yeah.
Alright, I was here to ask you about a trail I'm supposed to put in, and I know it's great about this, out there in front of Gary's place. On the print, they call for an 8-foot trail, and the print showed it on the backside of the telephone poles. There's not one straight telephone pole out there, and the trail would look awful. So I was in the process of trying to get the trail moved to the front of the telephone pole. But what I'm learning is it's kind of confusing and a problem because the way the bridge sets. So the bid that I got to put the trail in is $25,900. The trail goes nowhere. So today I talked to NDOT, and I wanted to get some answers of who makes me put in the trail. Because they tell me Leo-Cedarville is. Do you guys know? I've talked to the highway department, a guy named Brian Seckler and Jason Hanaway from NDOT. And they said that they review your guys',
Brian Seckler's with the county, isn't he?
yes. Yeah,
Okay.
he's a county highway guy.
Yeah.
So I do know that there is in the zoning somewhere, and I'd have to go back in Allen County, that when you do a subdivision or do change so much surface area, there's a requirement that says you have to put a sidewalk across the front of the property. And if you go over off of Cedar Canyons Road, the county law changed the culvert because it disturbs so much area. There's literally a section of sidewalk that's 60 feet wide
Gotcha.
in the middle of nowhere land. And that's all driven from that zoning ordinance or that zoning requirement. I don't know that, and I'd have to go look in our, without speaking out there, I'd have to go look and see if I can find it in our ordinances. My assumption is that we mirror whatever the county is.
The guy, Brian Seckler, told me today that that trail is to be connected in 2040. So then my next question, and NDOT asked me this, and he did, he said, well, who maintains the trail? When you put in this trail, who maintains it? Is it Leo or is it the homeowner association? NDOT doesn't maintain it, and the county doesn't maintain it. So I'm just trying to use common sense.
After 5 years, we will.
If it's not used till 2040, by the time you put an asphalt trail, it's gonna be crap by 2040. So I asked him today, I said, could I just I'm not trying to get out of the trail, I just want it to be done right. The way to do it right is the bridge, my property slopes down and the bridge is up here. So I need to fill in to do it right, this all should be filled in the NDOT right of way, which I have a bond and I have the right to work in the NDOT right of way. But there's an expense to do that, obviously. So I don't want to put the trail in, and then we come back and say, well, the homeowner association is in charge of the trail. So now we got to tear it all back out and then build that up. Like you said, Greg, you said that might be a 3 to 5 year deal.
It would be if I'm not, when we talked, I told you, I said, it's nothing that would be done within a year, I guarantee it. It'd be closer. I told him before you get the paperwork going, you get everything approved, and you start getting grant money, put stuff in, you acquire right away, you're looking at 3 to 4 years.
Go the right way, everything's there.
Well, now, wait a minute, time out. We're talking about apples and oranges here.
So
I
you're
thought
right.
you were talking about us running the sidewalk out.
Right. I was just gonna try and connect to the bridge. I
Right.
had two options. I can put this thing in, and it's not gonna be right. Then we're gonna have to go back and tear it out when we decide.
Well, I think it needs to go to the bridge. I think it needs to connect. Now, how are we gonna get there? I don't know yet.
Iker's ready to start working on it.
Why would you
Every
not
day,
take
hey,
it to the
how are we
bridge?
gonna do this? How are we
Well, you
gonna
got
do
so
this?
you can't run it to the river.
That's the 25,000
yeah.
he's talking about.
Right.
Yeah, well, I understand. I'm not sure how we get to
What-
that point, but we need to be
What
there.
he's wondering is, how long is it gonna take us to push a sidewalk out there? And
So
that's-
if they come down the side road, the bridge is right there, kids can get over then come through the backside around
Which
church
the city of Fort
shops.
Wayne regularly uses roads as an approved trail.
And they can be on our trail real quick, come out by your place.
Right.
Real easy, real quick from there. That's why.
Common sense to me is have Iker, there's from my property, it's like 60 foot to the bridge, which is an NDOT's, I believe it's NDOT's right of way. And Brian Seckler today said, you might as well just do it. I've got all the equipment and all the dirt sitting there, it'd be nothing for Iker to take that whole expense comes is we need to put rip ramp on the side of that, it's gonna be cliff going down, you know, 'cause it's up 12 foot. So I'm asking, does Leo-Cedarville wanna buy the rip ramp? Do we not wanna do this? Do we wanna do it together, 50-50, and I pay for the dirt work and you guys do it? Because at the end of the day, who will connect that bridge to my trail?
I think, in my opinion, we're open. Well, can you get quotes and ideas for all this? Come back to the next regular council meeting and gives us a second to think and then present that and then see if we can work through it with you? Don't you think?
Next week.
It's on Monday.
Okay.
Oh,
It's
next week's Monday?
August 5th, not next Monday.
No.
the week
No, no.
after.
Week, yes, so 2 weeks, sorry.
So just so I'm clear, you're telling me what we talked about before, you can build that up and get that done and connect it to the bridge for $25,000.
Iker thought he could. Iker thought if we do the mounding and stuff, all he's gonna do is keep taking dirt down there
Right.
and build it up and get the water to flow then down in the.
And that was a complete with the riffraff and with the asphalt.
$12,000 in rip ramp.
I think get some quotes and bring
Get
it
us some
back.
prices on it. Our next meeting is August 5th.
Angela?
Angela?
Yes, Monday.
So
August
if you can have the information over to her or into this office by next Wednesday or Thursday, so we can get it out to everybody and we can review
It's
it.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks, no?
So, right?
Council meeting Monday.
My other thought, and I don't know if this makes any sense either, and I said this to Brian Seckler, and he said Huntertown does that because they have a lot of those sidewalks, you said it doesn't go
Right.
anywhere. The developer gives the town, like right now, the bid from API was $25,900 for the trail. I would give you guys $25,900. If you're not gonna connect that thing till 2040.
I don't know.
By 2040, that trail's gonna.
But if we go to the bridge, that road's right there, it's connected in my opinion.
But it's not on the other side. I'm all for it. think
I know, but that would be then something on us at that point.
Connect it to the
Yeah.
road.
Just to the road, not to the big trail system. Yes, yes.
It needs that filled in and then.
Maybe it's something, we consider do it all one time, maybe not. I don't know. We need data and quotes in front of us. And so if you could have that to her by August 1st, which would be like 10 days from now. And then it'll be on the agenda and we'd be happy to further discuss that
Yeah,
for
if you
sure.
wanna come that night and
Okay.
be here, that'd be great.
Yep. I texted you today and you said we had a meeting and I thought maybe I could come. I don't know if it's.
Nope,
Well,
we're good.
You
We
did.
got it out in front of us, we're gonna move it forward and figure out how to make this work, so.
Yep.
All right,
I'll get a quote.
all right, thank you.
Thank you guys.
No further agenda?
No.
Good to go?